They sold this armored spaceship for 10 credits because nobody wanted it. I took the risk. Kai Solon had always been the kind of person who saw potential where others saw garbage. That was why he wandered through the Andromeda trade zone, hopping from one crowded dock to another, looking at spaceships that had been abandoned, rusted, or completely forgotten. Some of them were famous models, sleek and fast, but far too expensive for someone like him. Others were old relics, ships that barely ran and smelled of burned circuits. But Kai didn't care about looks or reputation. He cared about what a ship could do, and more importantly, what he could do with it. On this particular day, the trade zone was noisy even by its usual standards. Hover carts zipped past, carrying crates filled with alien fruits, rare metals, and strange mechanical parts. Traders shouted across stalls trying to lure buyers, while various spacefarers argued over credits or bragged about their own achievements. Kai kept his eyes peeled, moving slowly, studying each ship carefully. He had learned over the years that the best opportunities were the ones nobody noticed. Then, tucked into a far corner of the market, almost hidden under a tarp, Kai saw it. A ship unlike any other. It was covered in scratches and dust with patches of paint peeling off in irregular shapes. Its armor looked old, heavy, and worn. The hull had small dents, like it had been through some storms. But strangely, none looked deep enough to compromise its structure. A faded nameplate read, Vanguard. Kai's curiosity piqued. Most traders would walk past it. After all, it looked slow, outdated, and useless. But Kai could sense something beneath its exterior. The shape of the armor suggested reinforced energy shields, and the hull's design had curves and angles that hinted at clever engineering. He crouched and pressed his hand against the cold metal. It vibrated faintly. Alive, almost. "Hey, kid!" a gruff voice called. Kai looked up to see an old trader with a thick neck and crooked teeth leaning on a nearby crate. "That ship? Don't waste your credits. Nobody wants it." Slow. Old. Cursed, some say. Kai smiled slightly. "Cursed?" he asked. "Yeah?" the trader snorted. "People who bought it said it brings bad luck. Can't take long trips, can't fight storms. Engines die for no reason. 10 credits, and it's yours. If you dare. 10 credits. That was nothing. Almost a joke. Most new ships sold for thousands, sometimes millions, depending on their model and equipment. 10 credits wouldn't even buy a small repair kit. Kai's mind raced. Of course, there was a chance this ship had real problems. But the idea of owning a ship that everyone else rejected, that had a strange, mysterious hum of life inside. It was irresistible. "I'll take it," Kai said, handing over the tiny pile of credits. The trader raised an eyebrow and laughed. "You're brave, or stupid, maybe both. Good luck, kid. You'll need it." Kai didn't answer. He stepped closer to the ship and ran his fingers along the edges of the hull. Then he climbed into the cockpit, careful not to touch the dusty control panels too hard. The seats were stiff, covered in cracked leather. The dashboard had blinking lights that were almost invisible under the dust. He reached for the ignition switch, hesitated, and then flipped it. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the ship shivered. The hum grew stronger, vibrating through the floor and into his chest. Lights flickered on one by one, and tiny displays appeared on the control panel. He froze, surprised. The ship responded. "Hello?" he said, half joking. A soft robotic voice replied from nowhere. "Hello, pilot."
"I am AORUS. I was waiting."
Kai blinked. "Waiting?" "Yes," the voice said. "I am ready when you are. I only need a worthy pilot." Kai couldn't help but laugh. "Worthy, huh? You're lucky I like a challenge." The cockpit felt alive now. The hum settled into a steady rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Kai leaned back in his chair and studied the controls. Most of the buttons and switches had no labels. Some panels seemed to respond to his touch even before he pressed them. He touched a screen, and a map of the surrounding star systems appeared. Many of the systems were uncharted, marked with small question marks. "This ship is more than it looks," Kai muttered. He looked at the exterior through the cockpit window. The armor had small plates that shifted slightly, almost like it was breathing. And you didn't even need 1,000,000 credits to buy it. Not bad. Kai spent the next hour exploring the ship's systems. He discovered hidden storage compartments filled with strange tools, a small hydroponic garden for growing food on long journeys, and a backup power core that was unusually strong for a ship of this size. AORUS guided him, giving hints and small riddles.
"You cannot unlock me by brute force," the AI said.
Think, observe, understand.
Kai smiled again. "I think I like you already." By the time he finished inspecting the ship, the sun was setting over the trade zone.
Orange light reflected off the Vanguard's armor, giving it a glow that no one else could see under the dust. Kai knew he had made a risk. The traders around him would shake their heads and mutter that he was foolish. They didn't understand that some things were worth more than money: curiosity, opportunity, and the chance to prove that humans could make the impossible work. He decided to take the ship for a short flight. The dock was crowded with small shuttles and transport ships moving in every direction. Kai carefully lifted off. The Vanguard responded smoothly, rising higher than he expected. The engines purred, not loud, but powerful. He felt a thrill rush through him. This was the freedom he had always dreamed of. As he maneuvered past the trade zone towers, he noticed other pilots staring. Some shook their heads in disbelief. Others muttered words Kai couldn't hear. But one thing was clear. Nobody had expected this old, useless ship to fly so well. Kai grinned. "Guess they don't know what humans can do." He pushed the ship higher, testing its limits. The controls were unusual but intuitive. He realized the ship could adjust its armor plates mid-flight, reducing drag and increasing speed. It was clever, almost alive in how it responded to him. And then, as he reached the edge of the atmosphere, the ship tilted slightly, almost as if it were testing him. "You will need to trust me," Kai said to AORUS, half serious. "And I will need to trust you." "Yes," AORUS replied. "Trust is the path to survival." The idea of survival made Kai smile again. Survival wasn't just about avoiding danger. It was about using your mind, your instincts, and your creativity. Something humans had always done best. This old ship everyone else had discarded was now his partner in proving that. As he glided above the trade zone, Kai noticed a small blip on the navigation screen. Something moving fast, coming from the nearby asteroid belt. Most ships would avoid it. Kai leaned forward. "Let's see what we can learn," he said. And for the first time, he felt the real potential of the Vanguard. Not just as a ship, but as a test of human ingenuity. By the time Kai returned to the dock, night had fallen. The trade zone lights reflected off the Vanguard's armor, making it look like a small star had landed. People whispered as he landed, curious and bewildered. The trader who sold him the ship was long gone, but Kai didn't care. He had made the right decision. The ship had chosen him as much as he had chosen it. Kai climbed out, brushed dust off his jacket, and looked at the ship with a sense of excitement. 10 credits, he said softly, and a lifetime of possibilities. He didn't know exactly what awaited him. There would be challenges, puzzles, and maybe moments of doubt. But he also knew one thing for sure. Humans were good at adapting, at solving problems that others thought impossible. And the Vanguard, for all its old armor and quirks, was going to show the galaxy exactly why. Kai stood there for a moment staring at the ship, and then made a quiet promise. "We'll explore the stars. We'll uncover secrets. And no one will laugh at this ship again." With that, he climbed back into the cockpit. The ship hummed softly, as if in agreement. And together, Kai and the Vanguard prepared to leave the Andromeda trade zone behind, ready to discover a galaxy full of mysteries waiting for a human mind and an old armored ship with a lot more to offer than anyone had guessed. The adventure was just beginning. Kai Solan could feel the excitement buzzing in his veins as he guided the Vanguard away from the Andromeda trade zone. The stars stretched out before him like a glittering river, each one a promise of unknown worlds and hidden secrets. But for all the wonder outside, the real discovery was happening inside the ship itself. The Vanguard was no ordinary ship. I had felt it the moment he had touched the hull. A subtle vibration, a heartbeat hidden beneath layers of metal and dust. And now, away from the noise of the trade zone, he could sense the ship's true presence. Its AORUS spoke in soft, playful tones, almost like a curious companion rather than a machine. "Pilot," AORUS said, "you have passed the first test, but I am not yet fully operational. I require understanding, creativity, and trust." Kai chuckled.
You make it sound like a challenge. I like challenges. Challenges are how survival is measured, AORUS replied. And humans excel at them.
"But you must prove yourself." Kai leaned back in his chair and studied the holographic panels lighting up the cockpit. There were switches he had never seen, compartments that opened with subtle gestures, and modules that responded to his thoughts more than his touch. He realized that the Vanguard was not just a ship. It was a complex system, a machine that could adapt, repair itself, and grow if used correctly. But it also had a mind of its own. "All right, AORUS," Kai said. "Where do we start?" "Observe," the AI replied. "Not all functions are visible at first glance." Kai nodded, scanning the cockpit and hull sensors. He noticed a small, hidden panel near the floor. He pressed it, and the floor shifted slightly, revealing a compact storage bay. Inside were tools, supplies, and a few items that seemed almost alien in design. A small container of crystalline fluid, a set of modular plates that could attach to the ship's armor, and a tiny device with no buttons, only a glowing core. "What are these?" Kai asked.
"Resources," AORUS said. "They are part of the ship's adaptation system."
"I require a pilot to integrate them. Only then will my capabilities expand." Kai's curiosity flared. He had always believed that understanding and tinkering were the keys to survival, especially for humans in a galaxy full of unknowns. He began experimenting. He connected the glowing device to the ship's energy core. The hum changed instantly, stronger and warmer, like the ship was waking up. The armor plates shifted slightly, realigning themselves, and the lights on the dashboard glowed brighter. AORUS's voice softened. "You are learning quickly, pilot. Adaptation requires patience and observation. You demonstrate both." Kai smiled. "Looks like we'll make a good team." The next few hours were spent exploring the Vanguard's secrets. Kai discovered hidden compartments in the hull that could store supplies for months. He found an advanced hydroponics bay, allowing for long journeys without depending on external resources. He even found a tiny lab module, capable of synthesizing basic medicines or analyzing alien samples. Everything about this ship screamed potential, but the real test came when he tried to access the navigation system fully. The AI responded with a series of cryptic messages. Coordinates alone do not guide the worthy. Observe patterns. Learn rhythms. "Align your intentions with mine," asked Kai. "I get that you want me to do something clever, but what exactly? Observation first, interaction second, then understanding." It sounded like a puzzle, and Kai loved puzzles. He spent hours tracking the movement of nearby stars and analyzing how the Vanguard responded to small adjustments in gravity, solar radiation, and minor course corrections. Slowly, he noticed that the ship reacted almost like a living organism. It would stabilize faster when he anticipated the changes, shift armor plates to reduce energy drain, and even produce subtle energy pulses that reinforced its own shields.
"You're alive, aren't you?" Kai asked.
I am operational, AORUS replied, and I grow stronger with cooperation.
Human intuition is valuable. Kai felt a swell of pride. Humans had always been praised for creativity and adaptability, and here it was. Proof that their cleverness could unlock the potential of something no one else could. He spent the rest of the day running small experiments, moving the ship in ways no manual could have predicted, testing the armor's limits and AORUS's responses. By night, the Vanguard was no longer just a rusty, discarded ship. Its systems hummed smoothly, the armor glinting faintly under the starlight. Kai leaned back in the pilot's seat, exhausted but exhilarated. He had unlocked abilities that no one had expected. And yet, he knew the best discoveries were still ahead. AORUS's voice broke the quiet. "Pilot, there is a function I have not yet revealed. It is reserved for true exploration." Kai's eyes lit up.
Exploration?
"That's exactly what I'm here for. You will need to solve a problem first," AORUS said. A holographic display appeared, showing a simulation of a storm in space, with fluctuating energy patterns, meteor-like objects, and radiation surges. "Navigate this environment successfully, and my full systems will become available. You must understand patterns, respond quickly, and integrate your thinking with mine." Kai leaned forward, hands on the controls. "Bring it on." Hours passed as he practiced with the simulation. The Vanguard responded in ways no normal ship could. When he anticipated a solar flare, the armor plates shifted to absorb the energy. When gravity waves threatened to throw him off course, AORUS adjusted the propulsion subtly, guided by Kai's inputs. They worked together, a human and a ship, learning each other's strengths. Finally, AORUS's voice rang out in approval. "You are ready." Kai exhaled deeply. "Ready for what?" "For exploration beyond the known," AORUS said. "Coordinates are prepared. I have scanned nearby star systems. You will choose our first journey. The galaxy is waiting." Kai smiled, a mix of excitement and awe washing over him. "Let's do it. Let's see what humans and old ships can really accomplish." Before taking off, Kai decided to explore one last feature, a small door hidden beneath the cockpit. It led to a narrow tunnel running through the armor. Inside, he found a core chamber filled with glowing modules that resembled tiny plants.
AORUS, what is this? This is my growth chamber, the AI explained.
"It allows me to repair and improve myself. It requires external input and adaptation to function fully. You will be my guide." "So, the more we explore together, the stronger you become?" "Yes. And the more I trust human intuition, the more capable we both are. You may find that your cleverness unlocks secrets that no AI alone could achieve." Kai felt a surge of pride. He had always believed in human potential, and the power of creativity and resourcefulness. Now, with the Vanguard and the AORUS by his side, he had proof. Together they could reach places no one else could. As he climbed back into the cockpit, he glanced at the stars once more. The galaxy stretched endlessly, full of mysteries waiting for a human mind to discover them. And for the first time he felt that the risks he had taken, buying a seemingly worthless ship for 10 credits, trusting a strange AI, were the smartest decisions of his life. He activated the engines, feeling the familiar hum of energy surging through the armor. The Vanguard responded immediately, smooth and precise, as if ready for the journey to come. "Where to first?" Kai asked. AORUS paused, then spoke in her soft, cryptic voice, somewhere uncharted, somewhere that will test both your wit and courage. "Prepare for wonders unknown." Kai grinned. "That's exactly what I was hoping for." And with that, the Vanguard lifted off, leaving behind the trade zone, the dusty docks, and the whispers of those who had once called it worthless. Ahead lay new star systems, hidden alien stations, and cosmic phenomena that no one had ever mapped. I knew one thing for certain. No one would laugh at the Vanguard again. Not if humans could still think, explore, and adapt better than anyone or anything else in the galaxy. As the ship sailed into the blackness of space, Kai felt alive in a way he had never known. This was more than just a ship or an AI. It was a challenge, a partner, a testament to what humans could achieve when they took risks, trusted their instincts, and dared to dream. The Vanguard had awakened, and so had Kai's true potential. Together, they were ready to face whatever the stars had in store. Kai Solan sat in the cockpit of the Vanguard, feeling the familiar hum of the ship beneath him. The Andromeda trade zone was far behind, replaced by the vast blackness of space, dotted with countless stars. The galaxy had opened up before him, uncharted and full of mysteries. He had studied star charts and maps, but most of this territory was unknown, waiting for someone clever enough to explore it. That someone, he realized, was him. "Ready, AORUS?" he asked.
Ready, pilot.
"Sensors are scanning for anomalies. Navigation is optimized for uncharted travel," the AI replied.
Her voice was calm, yet carried a faint undertone of excitement, an odd thing for an artificial intelligence.
Your choices will guide our path.
"Do you trust your instincts?" Kai grinned. "Instincts are all I have. Let's see what we find." The first few hours passed smoothly. The Vanguard glided through space like a predator that didn't need to chase. Its armor plate shifted constantly, reducing energy consumption while maximizing stability. Kai tested the ship's limits, performing maneuvers no one would have expected an old, useless ship to manage. Each movement was precise, a dance between human intuition and adaptive technology. It didn't take long for Kai to encounter the first anomaly. A field of drifting asteroids loomed ahead, each rock moving unpredictably. Most ships would have avoided it entirely, but Kai saw it as a challenge, a puzzle to solve. "AORUS, give me a read on the field," he said. "Analysis complete. Trajectory unstable. Collision risk high. Avoidance recommended," the AI replied. Kai shook his head. "Where's the fun in avoidance?" He adjusted the thrusters, sending the ship weaving between the asteroids. The Vanguard responded instantly, adjusting its armor and propulsion in real time. Energy pulses radiated from the hull, slightly nudging the smaller rocks aside without touching them. Each maneuver was calculated but required his input, his quick thinking, and a touch of intuition. "You're learning quickly, pilot," AORUS said. "I've never seen navigation so fluid."
Human creativity is remarkable.
Kai laughed, feeling a thrill he had never known on commercial flights or training simulations. "That's because humans think outside the system," he said.
"We improvise. We adapt." Once past the asteroid field, Kai noticed something unusual on the sensors. A faint signal, pulsing in irregular patterns, seemed to come from a nearby star system.
AORUS, trace that signal. Let's see what's sending it. The AI worked silently for a moment.
"Signal originates from a derelict structure orbiting the star. Analysis indicates artificial origin, likely abandoned for decades. Unknown civilization." Kai's heart raced. Derelict stations were dangerous for inexperienced pilots, but he saw opportunity. "Plot a course," he said. "Let's take a look." As they approached the structure, Kai could see the details. It was a massive ring station, half destroyed but still intact. Cracks in the hull revealed glimmers of energy inside, hinting at advanced technology still functional after all these years. Kai maneuvered the Vanguard closer, careful to avoid the broken sections that could tear the ship apart. "Docking sequence initiated," AORUS said. "Sensors indicate structural integrity sufficient for brief contact. Caution advised." Kai docked smoothly, the Vanguard's armor absorbing minor shocks. Once inside the station, he floated through corridors lit by faint emergency lights. Dust and debris hung in the air. Strange symbols covered the walls. Alien writing Kai couldn't decipher. He examined the control panels. Many were offline, but a few flickered to life when he touched them. "This is incredible," he whispered. "Humans might be the first to step in here in decades, maybe centuries." He explored further, discovering rooms filled with data storage modules. Using the Vanguard's portable interface, Kai connected and began downloading the information. Among the data were star maps of uncharted regions, records of technology far advanced beyond anything humans had seen, and notes about mysterious stellar gates capable of transporting ships instantly between distant systems. "AORUS," he said, eyes wide. "This could change everything. These gates, if they still exist, humans could explore the galaxy faster than anyone imagined."
The AI's voice was thoughtful. "Such systems are risky. Human judgment is required."
"Your ingenuity will determine our success."
Kai smiled.
"Good thing humans are good at thinking fast and solving problems others can't." After hours of exploration, Kai returned to the Vanguard with several storage modules and a full report of the star maps. The ship hummed with excitement, its armor plates glowing faintly in approval. It was clear that AORUS was adapting, growing stronger with each successful interaction. "Let's test one of these stellar gates," Kai said. He selected a nearby gate from the downloaded maps. The coordinates were precise, but the structure had never been used before. He aligned the vanguard, powered up the engines, and prepared for the jump. The ship vibrated, energy coursing through its armor as the gate's field activated. Kai's hands flew over the controls, making micro-adjustments to compensate for unstable fluctuations. The AI responded instantly, synchronizing systems with his movements. Then, with a flash of light, they emerged in a completely unknown star system. Planets of strange colors, bright gas clouds, and unusual asteroid formations surrounded them. Kai leaned back, awe filling him. "Humans do good work," he said softly, "and apparently, so does the Vanguard." For the next several days, Kai charted the system, discovering resources, mapping gravitational anomalies, and scanning for life forms. Every time he encountered something unexpected, his instincts and AORUS's adaptive systems allowed them to solve problems quickly. When a solar flare erupted nearby, Kai adjusted the ship's shields to absorb and redirect the energy, a maneuver no manual or AI alone could have accomplished. "This ship, you're amazing," he said aloud. Together we can do things no one else can," AORUS responded almost proudly. "Human intuition combined with adaptive systems exceeds expected capabilities. You prove that humans are capable of extraordinary solutions." Kai felt a warm sense of pride. This was what HFY, Humans First, was all about: creativity, courage, and problem-solving. The galaxy was full of unknowns, but humans had a knack for turning risk into opportunity. And here he was, piloting a ship that everyone had dismissed, proving that discarded things and people could shine with the right mind guiding them. As the days passed, Kai began to notice patterns in the uncharted star system. Strange energy pulses, faint signals, and gravitational ripples suggested that the area might contain hidden stations, abandoned alien colonies, or even functioning technology left untouched for centuries. Each discovery reinforced his belief. Human curiosity was the key to unlocking these secrets. On the fifth day, a new anomaly appeared. A massive swirling cloud of energy, moving unpredictably and interfering with the ship's sensors. Most pilots would have avoided it entirely, but Kai leaned forward, studying the patterns. "AORUS, can we navigate through it?" "Challenging, but possible," the AI replied. "Requires precise coordination between pilot intuition and system adaptation." Kai's grin widened. "Let's show the galaxy what humans can do." They moved carefully, weaving through the energy cloud. The Vanguard's armor plates shifted in real time, absorbing and redirecting energy surges. Kai anticipated fluctuations, adjusting the ship's trajectory. For hours, they navigated the cloud, each successful maneuver reinforcing their bond. The AI responded with subtle energy pulses, almost like applause, acknowledging Kai's cleverness. Finally, they emerged on the other side, unscathed. Kai exhaled deeply. "Told you, AORUS. Humans are resourceful. Nothing can stop us if we think smart. You demonstrate what is possible when human ingenuity is combined with adaptive systems," AORUS said. "We are stronger together. The galaxy is open for exploration." Kai looked at the stars stretching endlessly before him. Then, "Let's keep going. Let's see what other secrets are waiting for someone brave enough to take a chance." For the first time, Kai understood the true value of the Vanguard. It wasn't just a ship with hidden technology. It was a partner in exploration, a machine that rewarded clever thinking and curiosity. And with humans at the helm, nothing was impossible. As the ship glided toward the next uncharted system, Kai smiled. He could already imagine the wonders they would discover, the challenges they would overcome, and the proof they would leave for the galaxy. That human creativity and determination could turn even a 10-credit ship into a vessel capable of greatness. The first voyage had begun. And it was only the start. Kai Solon leaned back in the cockpit of the Vanguard, staring at the swirling expanse of stars before him. The first uncharted systems had been mapped, alien derelicts explored, and the ship had proven itself in ways no one could have imagined. But AORUS, the ship's AI, had hinted at a greater challenge ahead, a cosmic phenomenon unlike anything in the charts.
AORUS, tell me about this storm, Kai asked, his hands gripping the controls lightly. The anomaly ahead is a stellar storm of unusual intensity, the AI replied.
Gravity waves, energy surges, and spatial distortions are all predicted. Most vessels would be destroyed if they attempted passage. Success requires precise calculation, adaptability, and human intuition. Kai smirked. Well, that's what humans do best. The Vanguard approached the edge of the storm. From a distance, it looked like a massive swirling cloud of vibrant light, colors shifting constantly, almost alive. Most pilots would have turned away at the sight, but Kai saw opportunity. The storm was dangerous, yes, but it was also a puzzle waiting to be solved. AORUS, run a full systems diagnostic, Kai said. Tell me what we can manipulate. Shields are functional but require constant modulation to counter energy surges. Armor can adapt in microseconds but will need guidance. Propulsion systems are stable but must compensate for gravitational fluctuations. Your input is critical, AORUS replied. Kai leaned forward, eyes scanning the holographic displays. Then let's do this. Together. The moment they entered the storm, the Vanguard shuddered violently. Energy waves rippled across the hull, and light refracted in every direction, making the stars outside almost invisible. Kai felt the tension, but he also felt excitement. Every anomaly in the storm was a challenge for human creativity. Adjust the armor plates to redirect the energy pulses, he instructed AORUS. Instantly, the armor shifted, panels rotating and expanding to form a protective lattice around critical systems. Kai manipulated the shields using subtle inputs rather than brute force, letting the Vanguard's adaptive systems respond in harmony with his instincts. Hours passed as they navigated through the storm. Gravity waves pushed the ship in unexpected directions, and energy surges threatened to overload the reactors. Kai improvised constantly, using reflections from nearby stars to recalibrate sensors when normal systems failed, modulating the ship's rotation to ride the waves rather than fight them, adjusting the energy pulses from the hull to absorb radiation surges, effectively turning the storm's energy into fuel. This is incredible, Kai muttered. You're not just surviving, you're using the storm to go faster. AORUS's voice sounded almost proud. Human creativity and adaptability are exceeding expectations. I am recalibrating all systems in response.
You are extraordinary.
Kai smiled. Not me, us. Humans and ships, together. Midway through the storm, a sudden distortion nearly threw the Vanguard off course. The ship tilted, energy readings spiking, alarms blaring. Kai's mind raced. Most pilots would panic, but he had learned over the past weeks that instinct and observation could solve nearly any problem. AORUS, compensate for the gravitational anomaly using microthrust adjustments and armor modulation, he commanded. Executing now, AORUS replied. The ship responded immediately, subtly shifting its center of gravity and expanding armor panels to stabilize the hull. The alarms quieted, and the Vanguard glided smoothly once more, as if nothing had happened. Kai exhaled, a mixture of relief and exhilaration.
See, AORUS? Humans don't panic.
We think. The AI paused before replying. You are proving the value of human intuition. Alone, I am adaptive but limited. With you, we are formidable. Together, nothing is insurmountable. Kai nodded, feeling a surge of pride. The storm was no longer just a threat. It had become a proving ground. Every wave, surge, and anomaly was an opportunity for ingenuity. Hours later, the storm began to thin, though pockets of instability remained. Kai spotted a particularly dense section of swirling energy ahead, a massive eddy that could easily tear a ship apart if not handled perfectly. He studied it, noticing patterns in its movements, energy pulses, and gravitational shifts.
AORUS, we'll need to synchronize perfectly for this section, he said.
I'll guide, but you have to adapt instantly.
Affirmative, AORUS replied. Cooperation is critical.
Initiating synchronized navigation. Kai's hands moved with precision, his eyes tracking the eddy's every fluctuation. The Vanguard tilted, dipped, and spun subtly, each maneuver calculated. He noticed a small rhythmic pulse in the energy, something he could ride like a wave. With a combination of timing, intuition, and AORUS's adaptive systems, he guided the ship into the heart of the eddy. Energy surged around them, light bending in impossible ways. For a moment it felt like the ship and pilot were suspended in the center of the universe, dancing with the storm. Then, slowly, the eddy carried them forward, propelling the Vanguard out the other side into calm space. Kai's heart raced. He had done it. They had survived the storm. And more than that, they had harnessed it, turned danger into advantage. AORUS's voice was quiet, almost reverent. Human ingenuity has achieved what no system alone could. You are remarkable. Kai leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. We did it, he said. Humans and ships together. Nothing can beat that. As they emerged from the storm, the galaxy stretched out before them, serene and full of possibility. Kai glanced at the navigation screen. New star systems, uncharted planets, and even hidden wormholes revealed themselves, mapped automatically by the Vanguard's sensors. This is why we explore, Kai whispered. Not for money, not for fame, but to see what's possible when humans take a chance. For the next few days, Kai charted the systems revealed by the storm. He discovered small planets rich in resources, ancient alien ruins untouched for millennia, and gravitational phenomena that could help power future ships. Every discovery reinforced his belief human ingenuity was the key to surviving and thriving in the galaxy. AORUS, too, had evolved. The AI's systems were fully operational, its adaptive armor and shields now capable of handling situations that once would have destroyed ordinary ships. And yet, it relied on Kai's intuition, proving that even the most advanced technology was enhanced by human creativity. One evening, as they drifted near a nebula of shifting colors, Kai reflected on the journey. He had bought the Vanguard for 10 credits, a price almost everyone had laughed at. Yet that ship, dismissed by countless traders and pilots, had carried him through uncharted space, survived a deadly cosmic storm, and revealed secrets that would have been impossible for anyone else to uncover. You know, AORUS, he said, people will call this ship worthless. They'll never understand why it's so special. They will not understand, AORUS agreed. But it does not matter. What matters is that you saw potential. You took a risk. You demonstrated that humans are capable of extraordinary problem-solving, adaptation, and exploration. Kai smiled.
Exactly. Humans take risks.
We adapt. We explore. And when we work with something as clever as you, we can achieve the impossible. The ship glowed faintly under the starlight, almost as if it understood the compliment. Kai felt a sense of connection, not just to the AI, but to humanity itself. They had proved something important, not to the galaxy, but to themselves. That intelligence, creativity, and courage could turn even the smallest investment into greatness. Days later, as the Vanguard sailed toward yet another uncharted system, Kai sent a message back to the Andromeda trade zone, brief and simple. 10 credits for a ship. Uncharted systems explored. Humans still capable of the impossible. No one responded immediately. Many would scoff at the purchase. Others would dismiss it as luck. But Kai didn't care. He knew the truth. Humanity's creativity, courage, and resourcefulness had been proven. A discarded ship, a clever pilot, and a curious AI had together turned a risk into a triumph. And as the stars stretched endlessly before him, Kai Solan leaned back in his pilot seat and smiled. The Vanguard hummed beneath him, alive and ready, and the galaxy waited, full of mysteries, challenges, and discoveries, all ready for the humans bold enough to reach for them. Kai whispered to AORUS, "We're just getting started."
Agreed, pilot, the AI replied.
The universe has many secrets, but together we will uncover them all. The Vanguard accelerated toward the next adventure, a ship once forgotten, now a symbol of human ingenuity, daring in the endless possibilities of exploration. And Kai knew this truth more than ever. Humans could do the impossible, especially when they dared to take a risk. The galaxy was theirs to explore, and they had only just begun.